Hello, my name is David Morales. I'm here in Dubai and I'm going to be playing at Sandance on Nasimi Beach. Check me out.
David Morales, thanks for joining me. Okay, so you began your career as a DJ, then you became a producer, and now you're known as the king of remixes. Why did you decide to focus on producing remixes as opposed to original tracks?
I started remixing in like 1986. My first big record was Instinctual by Imagination. I sort of like just fell into it. I was exposed to the studio. I liked it. I first started editing records for remixers and producers, which just evolved into the studio. So at that time, it was big business to remix records. You know, basically to take anything and make it a dance record, no matter what tempo. So from there, I graduated into being a songwriter and a producer.
All right. So what makes a house track popular?
I think the most important thing for me is to have a song. When it came to remixing, if you have a great song to work with, that's a foundation. I think the most important thing is to have a great song. With a great song, you can have a hit.
How do you choose your tracks?
Well, when I first started doing remixes, I was in the market to remix. I wasn't as choosy, as picky as I am now, or as I ended up becoming. It's like the more popular you get doing records, the more hits you have, the more people want your services. Your rates go up, then you can start picking songs. So I always listen. I've turned down David Bowie, I've turned down Whitney Houston, I've turned down Mick Jagger, only because I really didn't like, I didn't feel I can do anything with the song. So, when you get to a point that you're trying to make a name for yourself, then you can do whatever you want. But once you become a household name, then obviously you have to be a little more selective with the things that you do.
Now, you've worked with a lot of different artists. Who is your favorite to work with?
Out of everyone that I've worked with Mariah Carey the most. I've done about 10, 11 of her records. She re-sang most of them. And she's probably the most dynamic singer I've ever worked with. Needless to say. I think the most intimidating one I've ever worked with was Aretha Franklin, and that's like the queen of soul. So Aretha Franklin really made me shake in my boots.
When you started making music, did you ever think to yourself, I'm going to win a Grammy one day for this?
I never ever expected to win a Grammy. It was a program that I used to watch on TV. I never thought that I'd be a world famous DJ. Never mind just a producer, never mind one day being on stage where some of the most popular artists in the world have graced, meeting people and working with people that I've played their records, that have admired them over the years. So to win a Grammy, well, first of all, I think to be nominated is an honor in itself. So being nominated 3 times, winning finally the 3rd time was really, it was definitely one of the most epic moments in my career.
Now, you've traveled all over the world and you've seen many different crowds. Where is your favorite place to be?
Man, I've been all over. Maybe I still haven't been to a couple of places. I would have to say my favorite place to play would have to be Tokyo, Japan. They just love the music. They just have so much emotion. They know their music, ironically. Even though they don't speak English, but, Tokyo, Japan is my ultimate favorite. I go there and I play for anywhere from 12 to 15 hours.
And what about Dubai? You've been here a few times now. What do you think of this place, and how do you feel the crowd is here?
Dubai's a world of its own. It's like its own entity. They have some good. You have a couple of good promoters that done some great parties here. My favorite so far has been the Peppermint parties. I did 2 for them. Did a couple of club gigs, which is fine. And now I'm really looking to will probably be my most ultimate gig that I've ever done here, and that's Sandance.
How do you prepare for a set? Do you have a set list, or do you just play to the crowd?
I've been playing for 36, almost 37 years. I've never planned a set in my life, unless it's a fashion show. And I've done a couple of those. I can't plan a set because there's other DJs. You never know what the crowd is like. You never know what the venue. Some crowds you can be more experimental with. Some crowds you may have to be a little more commercial. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to sell out and play like a radio record, but commercial means maybe something older that they know, but they're still cool.
Well, technology has evolved greatly over the last few years, and I'm sure that has transpired into your work. How has your work changed because of technology?
Well, technology has evolved. I mean, I started with vinyl, graduated to CDs, and now computer, which I never thought I would play off a laptop. I play off Tractor. I've embraced it. I first frowned upon it. I thought it was cheating and all this. But I have nothing to prove in how I mix. I can mix records any day of the week. So I have the culture, I have the foundation. I've put in my time. The technology really allows you to do different. So to me, the art of DJing has changed, has evolved into something else. It's evolving more production skills. So if you're actually a producer slash DJ or DJ slash producer, then you got one leg up as opposed to just a person that's just DJing, because with the new technology, it allows you to be a little more creative, and it's not just about playing songs anymore. It's about creating.
What's your one piece of advice for a budding DJ, someone who wants to become like you?
The advice I have for anybody that wants to be me is you don't want to be me. No, all jokes aside, I think the most important is you have to love music. You know, the technology was always evolved and all these kind of things, but the most important thing, you have to love music. Don't do it because you want to be famous. I think that's the worst thing. And don't hate, don't be jealous because somebody else is ahead of you or you feel you're better than the next one. At the end of the day, you know what, I love music, and I never ever thought in my wildest dreams that this is where I would be. But it has been because of my dedication to music, because this has been my lifestyle. It wasn't television, it wasn't sports. For me, it was the art, it was music. I just wanted to hear music, and you know, I walk around with an iPod. I mean, I still listen to music when I'm at an airport, when I'm on the beach, when I'm listening. So most important, do it because you love it, not because you want to make money, you want to arrive. The rest will come automatically.
What's next for you?
What's next for David Morales? Gee, I don't know. I like to, well, I have a new album coming out. I have a new single coming out called Stay in November on Ultra Records with a video. In January, I have my album coming out called Changes, and you know, just working on productions. You know, not really any remixes. I've done so many remixes in my life. I'd rather spend time creating my own things, and really just enjoy life, a quality of life. I think that's really when you get to this point in life what it's all about.
Great, David Morales. Thanks for joining me. Have a good set.